Our next speaker has been a visual storyteller for more than 20 years, serving as the first photographer for Rotary International from 2004 to 2019. Over the span of her career, she's documented projects globally and locally, led by Rotarians taking action in their own communities. It's my pleasure to introduce Alyce Henson.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for that introduction. Greetings, Rotarians. What a year it continues to be humans engaging in Rotary opportunities. Thanks, DG Knoll, for inviting me over a year ago to present at your conference. I hope everyone is staying healthy and safe. I look forward to a time that we can all be together in person. I'm excited to share my images and stories this evening with my favorite Rotary district. But please don't tell all the other districts you're my favorite. Please join me in the Afterglow event at 8:30 p.m. The link will be sent in the chat. Let's get started on a little journey transporting you to some of the places my Rotary career has taken me and the wonderful people I've met. Day after day, ordinary people become heroes through extraordinary and selfless actions to help their neighbors. I believe this quote exemplifies the nature of a Rotarian hero. How fitting that a Rotary volunteer was getting ready to place this sign in the entrance of a newly built tiny homes for the homeless in Seattle, Washington. Mercer Island Rotary Club members and carpenters volunteered to build and paint the homes. As I was putting this presentation together, I was having fun thinking of other words to make up a hero acronym. Time and time again, I've witnessed Rotarians creating hope and possibilities for people, elevating opportunities and for individuals and entire communities, establishing lasting relationships, openness within themselves and the hearts and minds of others through shared experiences. These are some of the amazing places in the world I've witnessed Rotarians doing everyday actions to create positive and lasting impact. My first international assignment took me to Thailand and Cambodia. The Aka Training Center took in children from 27 Aka Hill Tribe villages. Some were orphans, others were sent by their parents. They learned English and Thai to help them function in mainstream Thai society. Linda and Maxine taught sewing in the same room used as a library filled with books. Other club members from British Columbia worked on construction projects and taught English lessons while I was there. I love capturing slice of life moments, such as this Rotarian connecting with the kids and being a kid herself. On a South Island of Thailand, I met tsunami survivor Juri. She stands on the former site of her home in farm fields. Her husband died in the tsunami, leaving Juri to start over and raise their 2 children. Rotarians and local volunteers help build new homes for survivors like Juri. Thai Rotarians coordinated food distribution and other supplies to displaced people. In Cambodia, I met landmine survivors. Many were going through rehabilitation or being fitted for prosthetics. Fana and her husband Peach met at the center. Fana stepped on a landmine while collecting firewood. Peach was a soldier when he stepped on a landmine in 1998. I've covered multiple projects in Africa. I spent time documenting young women learning the traditional art of batiking fabric. It offered them a viable artistic skill and opportunity to sell their wares in local markets. Often, when girls reach puberty, they drop out of school due to the lack of menstrual hygiene products and sex trafficking. Clubs in Niger and Germany sponsored this project. Women traveled from near and far across the desert region to receive medical checkups for themselves and their children at a Rotary-sponsored clinic. The children would receive vaccinations, including for polio. This scene at a Rotary-funded well outside the clinic caught my eye across the way. People at the well were observing me as much as I was observing them. It was only a brief moment of stillness until we all got back to what we were doing. In Uganda, I was happy to see projects with local Rotarian and community liaison leadership. It's just one example that prioritizes respect for community members' knowledge of what their needs are and how they are best supported through partnerships, volunteers, and supplies. In the Dominican Republic, the Biosand Filter Project, once again led by local Rotarians, focused on community engagement, the benefits of clean water, and the ease of maintaining in-home water filters. Sarah and Robert went around conducting home filter installations and workshops. Leonida's child was born days before she received her water filter, giving her child a better start in life by reducing illnesses from waterborne pathogens. Most of the area homes did not have potable water. In the Romanian countryside, Rosica milks her cows and the men of the Spatsic family stand on the hillside of their fields. They participate in the Farmers Feed the Children project, a partnership between Heifer International and the Rotary Club of Little Rock, Arkansas, and Cluj-Napoca, Romania. The farmers are given livestock and other resources in exchange for donating portions of beef, dairy, and poultry to local children's facilities. A polio survivor works as a seamstress, climbs the long and tall cement stairs of her home. She navigates them regularly to get to her rooftop sewing room, a reminder of what polio survivors endure. Still, she is considered fortunate since she has a loving family and hasn't been discarded to the streets. Jennifer Jones shared the image on the left during her End Polio Now TED Talk. Brazilian Rotarian Gilberto, a survivor of a childhood electrical accident and manager at an electrical company, teaches young people the skills to become electricians. He is one of several Rotarians who developed the course and teaches the program. The tuition for the students was in part funded by a matching grant. Jumping back to 2005, in Nicaragua was when I first met Rotarians from District 6400. In fact, it was actually on the plane ride down there that I met Larry and Sarah Wright. Larry tells the story best about how we bonded instantly over Mac computers when he saw me working on the plane. The group was there working on projects at a primary school and vocational training center that helped children, many that weren't in school. Instead, they spent their days with their families scavenging in the city dump. Witnessing children scavenging in the dump for food and items to sell was a heart-wrenching experience. Although this problem still exists, there is an upside. At the Aldo de Bon School, many children over the years have received an education, school uniforms, and regular meals they wouldn't have otherwise. This image I took during the same assignment in Chinandega at the Batania Vocational Training Center. It continues to be used on Rotary.org to exemplify supporting education. Fast forward to October 2019, my last international travel assignment. I returned to Chinandega once again by invitation from Larry and Sarah. I can hardly express what it meant to me to receive such a request a month after the ending of my 15-year career as a staff photographer for Rotary International. This time, District 6400 Rotarians, Detroit area volunteers, Nicaraguan Rotarians, and local volunteers came together to operate a week-long dental clinic and EMT training for students and community residents. 14 years after my first trip to Nicaragua, I felt I had come full circle in my Rotary career. It was truly amazing to see the dedication and connections continue through this international partnership. I couldn't have asked for a better way to bookend my Rotary career. Colleen, a dental hygienist on the team, worked tirelessly and with great patience with children and young adults that didn't have regular dental checkups. Sometimes the entire team included a reassuring mother in the room with her son who was scared to be in the dental chair. I also had a chance to visit Aldo de Bon School again. It was wonderful to see a thriving student population and the school meal program going strong. My US-based projects have taken me to places like Gainesville, Missouri to cover a mobile food pantry project. Shauna on the right was a young mother that was kind enough to let me follow her during a vulnerable time in her life. The project supports rural counties in Southwest Missouri and Northern Arkansas, where many lack access to food banks. When floods devastated Cedar Rapids, Iowa, even Rotarians were affected, and some, like Serena Ward, lost their homes. Rotarians are so used to helping others during their time of need. It can be a challenging turn of event for those normally in service to others. Ultimately, Serena was grateful for her Rotary network. Some of the benefits of doing US-based projects is the accessibility for follow-up coverage, developing trust and lasting friendships. A Seattle-based club project, initially known as Rotary First Harvest, evolved into its own entity, Harvest Against Hunger. It illustrates the power of club-generated ideas that find a solution to a community need. Look for this image of my friend and executive director of Harvest Against Hunger, Rotarian David Bobanek, in the June issue of Martha Stewart Living magazine. The story highlights the tremendous success they are having in reducing food waste by gleaning produce from local organic farms and distributing it at Seattle food banks. Around 2013, in the years in between my Nicaragua trips, Larry Wright came to RI headquarters to pitch this new thing he was involved with called Launch Detroit. New at the time, but by now, I'm sure you know the program focuses on microfinance mentorship and business education for Detroit area entrepreneurs. The energy was so great that day during the first information center in Southwest Detroit. None of us knew how much we'd be affected by that meeting. For those of you that know Larry, you know he has a knack for drawing you into what he's excited about and getting you on board. When I saw this unassuming moment of two men casually chatting after the information session, I could tell it meant something. I didn't know what it was, but it ended up being pretty special. Not only did Noel become Levi Johnson's Launch Detroit mentor, they became fast friends and shared in life celebrations together, like Levi's 60th birthday party. In no time, the cohort of entrepreneurs for the pilot program was set. I was able to profile about half of the original cohort, generous people that let me into their lives, sharing their stories and ambitions. One thing led to another. New projects and new friendships began. Rotarian mentor Roberto Sanchez and entrepreneur Irma Fuentes did just that. Roberto saw a need and the desire to beautify Irma's storefront. It was a great day of giving back by the community and immense gratitude on Irma's part for her storefront makeover. Irma had weathered some tough years leading up to this moment. She is a cancer survivor, her husband died, and then left to manage the hardware store with no prior business skills. Here she had just finished telling her son in Texas what all these generous people had done for her. While documenting the lives and work of others, I have created some special friendships of my own along the way. Latricia Wright, entrepreneur and Rotarian, became a friend to me early on. We've done yoga together, stayed at each other's homes. She shares her wellness knowledge with me. Once she even sent me a care package when I broke my foot. I'm so grateful for this friendship that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Rotary. I know all of you could share similar stories of relationships you've made over the years through Rotary. You are much more than an ad campaign, but these words ring true. You are real people of action that breathe into existence, fighting hunger, transformation, connection, mentoring, and ending polio. Keep being humans, engaging in Rotary opportunities. The world needs you now more than ever. Thank you, DG Knoll, for being the most positive superhuman and making the world smile brighter. What an honor to present at your conference. And thank you to all my other Rotarian and volunteer friends that I haven't mentioned by name. I'm thinking of you. I hope you're all looking forward to President nominee Jennifer Jones' keynote address tonight. I know that I am. Please stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Alyce, for visually bringing Rotary to life for all of us. That was a stunning presentation. Thank you again.
That was awesome.
You're most welcome.